Hello and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I am Agam Vakil. Let's take a look at how the markets have fared today and what they've done through the course of the week. I'm going to start off with the Nifty. Well, we did see some weakness coming through today, and where we did see a decline of around 1%. UPL did stand out, perhaps about a short covering after the kind of weakness that we did see over the past couple of days. Tech Mahindra, Indiabulls Housing Finance and Hindalco Industries standing out. But on the losing hand, the losses were much bigger. Yes Bank were resuming its downtrend. Maruti Suzuki looking reasonably weak. We have weakness in HDFC as well, a heavyweight, because of which we have seen the indices come up. But to take a look at the broader markets, the Nifty 500, or the mid-cap for that matter, Hexaware Technologies advances by as much as 9%. And we have HEG, Diwan Housing Finance, VGuard Industries all doing well. On the losing end, Graphite India losing out around 6.5%, followed by something like an IGL or Manappuram Finance declining, and Sun TV also looking at a little bit of weakness. But what did these markets do through the course of the week? It was a fairly volatile market. While we did have a lot of strength on certain days, certain other days actually did see declines coming through. And on the net, we are looking at an 0.8% correction as far as the benchmarks go. ICICI Bank, Z Entertainment, Power Grid looking at, well, some gains, but on the losing end, it is UPL which has lost out quite substantially, followed by something like an Indiabulls Housing Finance. Adani Ports, along with Yes Bank and Maruti Suzuki, lose out around 5%. Now, this is as far as your stock performance is concerned for, well, your benchmark. What about the mid-cap space? And if we can bring that up, there you have it. Hexaware Technologies, largely on account of the fact that we have seen Hexaware, well, buy Mobiquity, which will, of course, boost top line as well as operational parameters. Oberoi Realty looking at, well, a good 8% up move, as is the case for Apollo Tyres too. Graphite India, of course, along with HEG, for reasons that are, well, particular to the sector. Well, we've seen that correction coming in there. Reliance Capital, Bilcon and JSPL also declining in trade. But what were those, well, events that shaped up the week, the trading week? And on that note, I'm going to bring in well, some of those factors, some of those events that did see, well, that change come through. So of course, on Monday we had members of the 17th Lok Sabha get sworn in, and of course the parliament session began as well. But perhaps what was more important here into the course of the week was that HDFC AMC had decided to take about 500 crores worth of hit for their exposure to SL Group NCDs. Of course, this means that the investors, that is those who are exposed to and invested in HDFC AMC, will not be taking that hit. It will be HDMC who has taken away these 500 crores. And of course, this is also on a temporary basis. This is only under the assumption that they may not be paid later on. But moving on Wednesday, we also had HDFC Limited by Apollo Munich, about 52% in Apollo Munich, and they will now merge Apollo Munich with HDFC Ergo. So that was a big development there as well. Especially Apollo Hospitals actually did see a significant up move there. And on Wednesday again, we had FOMC, which kept interest rates unchanged. There were some, well, guesses and there was some conjecture about the fact that there could be a 50 basis point rate cut. Well, that didn't come, but well, the Fed has hinted on a cut later in the year. And this is as far as some of those events are concerned. We really didn't have too much of an implication there. But Thursday was perhaps an important day for Jet Airways because, well, the NCLT admitted Jet Airways to and referred to the IBC, that is insolvency proceedings. Of course, since then we really haven't seen well, too much movement on the downside towards Jet, because on that very day earlier we had seen 90% gain, and today, of course, Jet Airways has gained to a certain extent. Well, this may be a confusing time for Jet, but we're going to keep an eye on how, well, the stock moves as we move into next week. That said, when it comes to certain levels that we're watching out for on the benchmark indices based on the technicals, based on your open interest distribution, and for now we have seen OI shift from the 11,500 put to the 11,700 put, and as you can see here, that will be a lower base for this particular expiry, and of course, as we are heading into expiry week, of course, on the higher end, it is going to be the 12,000 mark where we do have accumulation of calls there. So we'll be watching out for that as well. What are the other factors that we are keeping an eye on from the macro space? Well, there are two other variables that we are watching out for. The first one is a fiscal deficit for the month of May, and that will of course come on Friday. And besides that, we're also watching out for May core sector number, which could also perhaps will influence the way authorities as well are going to take a lot of these matters forward. So, not too much to speak for when it comes to events to watch out for, except for the core data and the fiscal number. But on the whole, we are keeping an eye on the way markets are moving, especially given the so much volatility that we have seen of late. On that note, it's a wrap on the markets, but there's lots more lined up. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint, and we'll keep bringing you more.